Jamal Niaz here with Mark Henry at For the Love of Wrestling in Manchester, the biggest wrestling convention in Europe. First of all, how has it been here in Manchester and interacting with so many legends?
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. A lot of fun. It's good to see how well done and how well attended it is. We did a photo op with the Nation guys, FTLOW, Godfather, and Ron Simmons. It's like 75 photos. And then I did my individual photos afterwards and did like 110, 120. So it's like it's very well attended.
And you were just telling me a moment ago about touching interaction you had with a fan. So many stories of how you've touched the fans' hearts with your performances and storylines over the years. Can you just tell me about that particular one?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that come up and they're like, man, you were my childhood. Like, I grew up watching you, but, like, I just had a kid that was, like, 13 years old with autism come up and said that, you know, watching my career and watching me wrestle made him feel safe. He was a fan of mine, and you always like to hear that because, you know, for somebody to be somebody's hero, you know, it's just like they look at you as a brother, a father figure, an uncle, you know, like you're a part of the family. So that's a pretty warming feeling.
I'd probably say my favourite time seeing you in WWE was the Hall of Pain gimmick. Oh. That was absolutely iconic, and seeing you win
it was real.
Yeah, 100%. I don't want to be a part of the Hall of Pain, but
no, you don't want that smoke.
The World Heavyweight Championship, finally getting that. What an incredible moment. Did you find out pretty late that world title change was going to happen? How far in advance did you find out about that?
No, I mean, it's not so much the fans dictate what happens. I was supposed to be champion 3 years earlier, but I got injured and it didn't happen. So it was good that I was still relevant and talented enough to get another opportunity, and an opportunity presented itself.
100%. And the Vengeance 2011 match with the Big Show, that was the first time in a long time where the ring broke, and I believe that was on the day you found out that was going to happen. First of all, how do you adjust to a match where that's going to be the ending, and how does it feel when you take a spot like that where the ring broke? Does it feel any different to when a ring break doesn't happen? Obviously, I'm not in the industry, so I don't know how a spot like that feels.
Well, I mean, anytime something breaks, me and Big Show went from the ring to the floor through the cage when Batista was champion. And the first thing that hit the ground was his shoulder blades and my shoulder. And it felt like lightning struck me. It was so much pain. And the ring breaking, the suplex was the worst part of it. You know, the ring breaking is just being jostled around. But the suplex, like the weight of both of us, it made it faster for whatever reason. And when it hit, it was just like really explosive. And, you know, I think my teeth clattered together. Like, it just, like, oh, it was rough.
What I found interesting as well is I'm claustrophobic as well. So I completely understand your fears and anxieties about that. The Casket match with the Undertaker, WrestleMania 22. How is that the most nervous you've ever been before a match, would you say? And what was it like? What was it like when the casket door shut?
No, it was like people putting tape over your mouth and nose, and you can't breathe. You know, it just is. Man, you try your best not to think about it. When you get asked a question, I think there's a movie called Pulp Fiction. And there's a point where Uma Thurman gets put in a coffin and they bury her alive.
Oh, Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Bro, like, that's the same way I felt when I was in that coffin. It made me feel the same identical way, and I was like, I can't watch this. And that's one area of, I don't even know what happened, but when I was watching, it made me like seize up, like I couldn't breathe, couldn't watch it, had to walk out of the movie.
Your son as well. Your son, very proud of him. He has signed with the WWE. Massive potential, massive future for him. How proud are you of his journey so far, and where do you see him in the next decade?
You know, I see Jacob graduating college, and when he comes into wrestling, he's going to be ready. Like, he's being prepared now mentally for what is about to happen. He thinks like a wrestler. He's just got to get more experience in the ring, which when his wrestling season is over and football season is over for University of Oklahoma, then he'll go to Japan and work with Darren Young, and he'll work with a few guys here in the States, that said that they wanted to work with him. So he's going to be very polished. He'll have a big advantage on me and The Rock. That
must be very emotional and such a proud moment for you to see the influence that you've had on him, to the fact that he wants to follow in your footsteps and carve his own path as well.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he really don't know. He don't want to be in my shadow. That's why he does different things. Like, he wants to be different. He's a singer. He's been in a band for like 8 years. He reads music. He's done a bunch of like theater plays, acting things, and for him to love wrestling the way that he does is pretty, amazing. But like, he's not trying to be the world's strongest son, the next world's strongest man. He wants to be the first Jacob.
Pound for pound, obviously you're the world's strongest man, strongest wrestler we've seen in WWE. Who were the guys you went up against where you were like, wow, these guys are very, very strong? If you had to pick maybe 3 guys.
3 guys, I mean, John Cena is really strong. The Big Show is freaky strong. Like, it's hard to explain. He's a bigger person. He have longer levers, and he's just really, really strong. Man, he's not as big as a lot of people, but Claudio Castagnoli is really, really strong and an explosive athlete. But there's a bunch of guys, man, big guys, a lot of heavy training. It's always good to see somebody excel in the lifting arts.
Last one now. What would you say is your performance you're most proud of in your career? Not necessarily your favourite match. And then if there's one guy that you never got to face in your career, even if it's a modern day wrestler now, that you'd love to have faced, who would it be and why?
I pretty much faced everybody. The thing that I feel like would be the first part of that is if I could go back in time, I would love to face one of my heroes, Junkyard Dog. I think it would have been incredible, match made in heaven type of match. Now, currently, man, MJF comes to mind. Cody is one that I've been in the ring with, but, Cody evolved. And I would love to get this current version of Cody and just stretch him all over America and around the world because...
introduce him to the Hall of Pain, right?
Yeah, he needs to be put in jeopardy. And there's some guys that can do it. I think Jacob Fatu is one of those. I think Jacob is going to have a unbelievable saga with him.
Bron Breakker as well.
Bron Breakker, too. He's another one that's very athletic, very good, explosive. Obafemi is somebody I like a lot. I see him doing really big things. They got some young talent that's pretty damn impressive.
Future WrestleMania main event is those 3 guys that you mentioned.
All 3 of them, I can see them in the next 5 to 8 years being in the main event.
Well, I really appreciate your time. A lot of excited fans ready to interact with you and share how much you've influenced them and inspired them. just go and have the best weekend here in Manchester. Everyone loves interacting with you and seeing you so happy, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.